Hello everyone, I'm Isan. In this video, we'll compare the two latest A-series smartphones from Samsung. They are Samsung Galaxy A34 5G and Samsung Galaxy A54 5G. Here we will compare several things about this smartphone and see which one is better and worth the price. The price difference between these two smartphones is around $70 and we will see with the price difference of $70, will it be more worth it to get A54 or maybe it's better to get A34 series. Okay, now let's look at the comparison. First of all, we will directly compare the cameras on these two smartphones. For the main camera in Samsung Galaxy A54 and A34 series, it looks quite the same and only slightly different. A54 comes with a main camera with a resolution of 50 megapixel and Samsung A34 comes with a main camera with a resolution of 48 megapixel. And the difference in the new camera is quite visible in the ultra-wide lens. The ultra-wide lens on A54 comes with a resolution of 12 megapixel, while the ultra-wide lens on A34 comes with a resolution of 8 megapixel. And then the third lens is a macro lens that is exactly the same on both smartphones. Both of them comes with macro lens with a resolution of 5 megapixel. Next, for the front camera on these two smartphones, it looks quite different. Samsung Galaxy A34 comes with a 13 megapixel camera, while A54 comes with a 32 megapixel high-resolution front camera. For this significant difference in resolution is also in line with the quality of photos and videos from the front camera. You can get better details for photos and videos from Samsung Galaxy A54. And then for the front screen design on the front camera, there is also a significant difference in these two smartphones. Samsung Galaxy A34 series still comes with an Infinity U display, while Samsung A54 already comes with a punch hole or Infinity O display. So for the front screen design, Samsung Galaxy A54 looks much better and more modern than Samsung Galaxy A34. Next, when opening the camera applications on these two smartphones, the camera features look quite the same and there aren't many differences. We find only two differences on the camera application. For the first difference is the high-resolution photo mode. For A34 series, the option comes with 48 megapixel, while on Samsung A54, the option comes with a 50 megapixel resolution. And of course, the option is similar to the resolution of the main camera lens on each smartphone. Then the second difference is during the 4K 30fps video recording process. In A54 5G, you can change the lens to ultra-wide and also to X zoom when you are in the process of recording a video. Whereas on A34 5G, when you record 4K 30fps video, you can only record it on the main lens. Then the next difference is in the back cover design on the back of these two smartphones. For the Samsung Galaxy A34 series, it still comes with a back cover design with plastic material or what Samsung calls glass tape, which is still plastic but look like the glass material. Meanwhile, Samsung A54 already comes with glass material which also comes with Gorilla Glass 5 protection. So the back cover is quite resistant to thin scratches on Samsung A54 5G. Then for the dimension, Samsung Galaxy A34 is slightly larger, but the difference is quite thin and not too far. And the weight is also quite the same, only differing by about 2 or 3 grams. Apart from that, the position of the ports, buttons, and speakers on these two smartphones also looks exactly the same. The power and volume buttons are on the right, and on the left is empty without any buttons or ports. And then at the bottom, you'll find a USB Type-C microphone, and there are also stereo speakers on these two smartphones. And then at the bottom, there is no 3.5mm audio jack on these two smartphones, and at the top there is a microphone hole and also a SIM tray. The SIM tray only looks different in shape, but for the functions, both of them support dual nano SIM hybrid. So you can only use dual nano SIM or you can also use one SIM card and also one micro SD card. Next, we'll look at the screen comparison on both of these smartphones. For its size, Samsung Galaxy A34 looks slightly larger with a 6.6-inch display. Meanwhile, A54 comes with a 6.4-inch display. For the difference in screen size, here it looks quite minimal and not too much different. For display specifications on paper, they both come with Super AMOLED with a high refresh rate of 120Hz, which is very smooth. But here it turns out that there are slight differences that are not written on paper, and you can only find out if you try it directly and check some hidden settings. When we check the display settings on these two smartphones, it turns out that even though they both come with a refresh rate of 120Hz, there is a slight difference in the refresh rate setting. For A34 series, it only supports high refresh rate, while Samsung Galaxy A54 already comes with adaptive settings. We can see the comparison clearly when we activate the show refresh rate feature on the developer options. After activating the show refresh rate feature, you can immediately see the difference in the refresh rate settings earlier on these two smartphones. When you swipe on the screen on Samsung Galaxy A34 and A54, you can see that the refresh rate in A34 has not changed at all, and it stayed at just 120Hz only. Meanwhile, the refresh rate on Samsung Galaxy A54 display will change and drop to 60Hz if the screen is static. And of course, with this adaptive setting, you can reduce the use of your smartphone battery. So here, even though both of them on paper comes with Super AMOLED with a refresh rate of 120Hz, it turns out that the refresh rate settings are slightly different, and the refresh rate settings is better on Samsung A54. Even though the adaptive settings are not the same as those in the flagship series. Because in the flagship series, the refresh rate can even drop to 24Hz, or sometimes it can also change to 96Hz. While on A54, it only changed from 120Hz to 60Hz only. Next, we will compare the performance on these two smartphones. Samsung Galaxy A34 comes with MediaTek Dimensity 1080 chipset, while A54 comes with Exynos 1380 chipset. When we test the AnTuTu benchmark on both of these smartphones, the score looks slightly superior to the Exynos 1380 on Samsung A54. But here, even though the performance of the Exynos 1380 on Samsung Galaxy A54 series is slightly faster, there are some high graphic game settings that you cannot activate on Samsung A54. For example, in the PUBG mobile game on A54, you can only set it at smooth high option. And if we compare it with the graphic settings on Samsung Galaxy A34, you can activate the option smooth extreme and also the HDR Ultra. For differences in graphic settings, this is probably because the chipset used in A34 is a chipset that has been released for quite some time, while the chipset used in A54 is a very new chipset. Hopefully in the future, Samsung Galaxy A54 with Exynos 1380 can be unlocked for high graphic settings. Next, for security and biometrics features on both smartphones, both come with a fingerprint that is already inside the display. And for the speed when you unlock the device, it is equally fast and accurate on both of these smartphones. Next, the batteries on these two smartphones are also exactly the same. They comes with a 5000 mAh battery. And for the charging speed, they both support 25W fast charging. And then next, for the software and UI used on both of these smartphones, they both use Android 13 with the full version of One UI 5.1. So with a very little price difference between A34 and A54, Samsung A54 here looks much better and worth the price if your budget is sufficient. Unless you want to upgrade your smartphone specifically for playing games. Because there are some high graphic settings that still cannot be unlocked on Samsung A54 5G. Apart from the shortcomings of this graphic setting, Samsung A54 is worth the price. However, if your budget is insufficient for A54, Samsung A34 is also already very good and worth the price. So for the final choice, you can decide according to your budget and also personal preferences. Then if you want to see more about the comparison of the camera quality on both of these smartphones, you can click on the video that appears on your screen. Hopefully useful. See you in the next video.